Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Ron. Sorry for the noise. I'm right off of Route 202 heading southbound in Ringgoes, New Jersey, which is right near Flemington, New Jersey. We're at the Drone Academy. I'm going to take a class today and try to get a little better learning to fly the FPV Rotor Riot HD1. But stay tuned. This could get interesting. Thank you for stopping by. In today's video, I really think I have a quick and safe technique for learning to fly your FPV quad. Additionally, this method is absolutely going to save you some money, some time in rebuilding and repairing your quad, and as you're learning to fly FPV. I've never seen this technique before in all the previous FPV videos that I've watched while trying to get started. I'm going to put this out there right up front that I won't be surprised if some criticize the technique I'm going to describe in this video, but I found that there is more than one method to learn to fly FPV. And this method may not be for everybody, but I certainly feel like I got a lot of value out of this. So what is this method of learning to fly FPV? Let me just show you. Now, before you all jump into the comments and leave your opinions, let me just say that I spent nearly 2 hours at the Drone Academy yesterday using this method. I flew in angle mode and used about 11 or 12 LiPo batteries. So at least I got some quality flight time in. When it was all said and done, I went off leash and flew the quad for a few minutes without being tethered to a line and felt so much more comfortable when it was all said and done. Now, if you're interested in how the quad was tethered, I'm going to put a list of all the products I would recommend and those that the Drone Academy used below, so you know what to buy and what they used. The first thing you want to know, and that the owner at the Academy told me, was this.
But yeah, they say the first 5 to 10 times you fly a drone FPV by yourself, you got a 99% chance of losing it.
I believe it. I believe it.
Hence the reason he has 2 now.
I just bought a second one. one for the air, one for the repair shop. All right, so we're making pretty good progress. We got the Fat Sharks that we're working with, not my DJI goggles, and we're going to throw those on in a minute. As you can see behind me, we got the drone tethered to a string, which actually helps the process. So I've never seen this technique before. I think it's actually really good. So something maybe to think about if you're just starting out, maybe to tether your drone until you get used to your flight controller. So we're going to move on to the Fat Sharks and see how we do. Now, yesterday was nearly a perfect day, being January in New Jersey. It was about 50 degrees outside and nearly no wind. The winds were maybe 5 miles an hour at most. Just a perfect day to learn how to fly. Now, my wife Melissa and my dog Loki even came out to join me yesterday. She's a great wife, very supportive. Now, because I know someone's going to leave a comment below, let me still say I recommend spending some time in a flight simulator like Liftoff or Velocidrone before you go out flying your FPV. There's actually quite a few flight sims out there, but the only one that I've used is Liftoff to date, so that's the one that I would recommend to you personally. So step 1, put time in Liftoff or another flight sim. Then step 2, tether your quad and start practicing. I'm also going to leave a link below to the Drone Academy in Ringgoes, New Jersey, for those who might be in the area and want to give them a try as well. Great staff. The guys over there were really helpful and friendly. If you're going to give this method a shot, the first thing you want to remember is this, and it's the most important thing. Do not stake your line to the ground. If you do, your quad's going to go crazy when you reach the end of the tether line. What you want to do is use something like this. These are FlashPoint weighted bags that hold either sand or 4 water bottles, and I'm going to leave links to those below also. Yeah, so what they were saying was they have the water bottles, or just water bottles inside these bags. Only probably weighs about a pound or 2, so what ends up happening with the drone tethered to this, it's just like a nylon line. It'll move, so they're saying don't stake it into the ground. because if you stake it into the ground, when the drone pulls, it's just gonna flip out. But with this, because it's light, it'll actually pull it along the ground a little bit. And he says it works really well. So something I hadn't seen before that might work really, really well if you're learning to fly is a tether like this. It was just a real simple setup with like a zip tie strapped to the bottom of your quad frame with a little clip. And then this is just a nylon, like a tough nylon rope, real light, and seems to work really well. So you might want to.
What's the company that makes?
Well, it says FP FlashPoint bags. I'm not sure what these are used for typically, but there's water bottles in them. And like I said, they just would, as the quad pulls, at least it would drag along the ground a little bit. So right now we got a little problem with the quad we're using. We're using the Fat Shark FPV goggles. We lost the video feed, probably because of my last crash. Hopefully it's a quick fix. This is why it's another good reason to come to Drone Academy. You're not flying your own equipment, guys. Also, the tether line that the Drone Academy was using is called paracord. Again, some links below. Now, like I said earlier, I spent nearly 2 hours flying their quads, which really let me spend some quality time in the air. And I don't think you can get any better experience than actually flying a quad. Also, part of their setup was also a main remote controller, which could take over authority of my controller should I run into any kind of problem. Kind of like when you're learning to drive a car, the instructor can easily take control of the wheel. My instructor could just flip a switch on his controller and take control of the quad. Of all the YouTube videos I've watched to date, I had never seen this tether technique used for learning FPV. Maybe you guys have seen it before. I've never seen it, so I wanted to share it with you. What the instructor also recommended was you start out in angle mode and get comfortable with that. Once you're feeling comfortable and have control of your quad, take it off the tether, but keep it in angle mode for a bit. Then, over time, start flipping between angle mode and acro until you're feeling comfortable enough to fly in acro mode more often. Yes, I'm sure there will be some disagreement about flying in angle mode when you're first learning, but again, there is no single one way to learn to fly FPV. But I honestly think that this is probably one of the best and the safest methods that I've seen. Not having your quad fly off or losing it your first few times out is enough of a reason for me to suggest using this method. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the tethered approach to learning, and feel free to share this video with others if they're new to the sport as well. I really do think it's going to help a lot of folks out, and I hope it does help one of you as well. You could potentially learn to fly FPV in a day using this method, but you'll definitely want to incorporate the use of some kind of flight sim as well. Oh, and before I go, I just wanted to mention that I just got my second FPV today. Yes, it's another Rotor Riot HD1. The logic being, if I've got one being repaired, at least I've got one I can still fly. Rotor Riot HD1. And I think it's this one here. Which one? This one here is my original one. It's all fully repaired and working. Now, it was rainy today, or I would have taken my FPV out for a spin again today. It's fully repaired and I can't wait to get some additional fly time in, so stay tuned because I'm fully committed to learning to fly FPV. 2 FPV quads now. Yeah, no backing out. But like I said before, we got this. That's it. If you got any value out of this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell for future video notifications as well. So until next time, take care, happy flying. Again, remember, we got this.